Hey guys, it's Lindsay here with the Rockwell Group and EXP and May Mullins.
Hi guys.
We're here today to show you a really cool old house, just to get a good idea of, again, Grants Pass in this area, up one of these roads. Well, this whole area is kind of historic. It has a lot of really larger old Victorian homes. Some are Italianate, some are Victorian, some are just old craftsmen, really cool original type homes in this area, up and down a couple different blocks through here. And all the yards are really beautiful, really well kept. And this is one of the exceptional homes on the block because it's actually on the historic registry for Grants Pass. I think it's the State Historic Registry.
The State Historic Registry.
And it was built in 1905. It has a long-standing history in this area. People are really well known with this house, or very familiar with this house. So we'll take you guys inside and you can check it out. So here up in the main entrance is really unique to this home. They have original corbelled columns that you can see that really frames out the entrance. And then you can kind of follow us up here. They had just a lot of really attention to detail, even just starting from the very beginning of the front of the house. Original hardwood flooring out here, which really invites your guests in and is unique to the historical aspect of the house. And then walking in, you have an original foyer. And because of the style of the home, the tradition back then, again, it was the turn of the century, was the more familiar you were with the family or the more privileged you were, very much like churches, the more access you got to the back of the house. So in the very front, you have this kind of blocked off foyer with, you have your double doors that are really nice, beautiful, arched tall ceilings with a lot of really nice trim work that's pretty, unique to the time period. And then you can kind of sweep into more of a sitting room, kind of like Downton Abbey.
A little bit. Have someone sitting at a piano to entertain your guests as you go. But I really appreciate a lot of the detail that comes into when you first walk into the home, especially when you look up at the lights over here. You'll see even from the ceiling all the way down to the lights themselves, the crown molding on top of each and every window is something that is really special and unique to this home that has been here for a very long time.
And for as old as the house is, it's in great condition. The flooring, they have really, individualized pieces that are here. And even down below, once you go into the basement, the former owner took a lot of really good care to make sure to keep the wood and the original tongue and groove. So if you should ever need to make any repairs, there's extra supplies down there that's gonna match everything, which is super nice. And then you kind of walk in here. You have the pocket doors, which is original to the decade, which you really don't see anymore, and especially at this height, and in such good condition as they are. And then you walk into the formal dining room. Lots of natural light in this house. One of the things that we talk about is the older homes, they tend to be a little creepy. Let's be honest. They tend to be kind of dark and spooky, and that's because they have narrow hallways and not a lot of natural lighting. This place is not that. This place has a ton of original windows, natural lighting throughout, and it feels very welcoming.
It feels very welcoming, almost like that Jane Austen era.
Yeah.
Just that really sweet, simple, the way people used to live their lives.
Yeah.
And one thing I really like about a room like this is that it has one of these just push door both ways.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying earlier is the more privileged you were, the more access you had to the back of the house. And so going through here would be the maid's quarters or access into the kitchen. So they had easy access with the swing door. And then you can kind of come back in here and see how big this open kitchen is. So super huge kitchen, lots of room to be cooking multiple meals, original wood burning fireplace, as well as your up-to-date appliances. You have a Jenn-Air stove, you have dishwashers, and just a ton of room to really do what you need to do. There's actually a flat cooktop back here. So there's just a lot of opportunity here. And then there's actually a really huge original butler's pantry right back here, which is kind of cool because it has, again, the tall ceilings and it has that really cool old wavy glass and big step in. So tons of room there. And then off of here on the other side is actually what they would call the study. And again, you know, super tall ceilings, kind of that old Tiffany era style lamps. And even on the flooring, they have that really cool kind of chevron pairing of the floor pieces as they all connect. You have original doorknobs, even cool old little placards that say study. And then through here, we can actually go right back in through where we would have been in the front door. And then upstairs, again, kind of coming back to like those old houses that are creepy and weird. It's because usually, I mean, if they're not haunted, usually it's because their staircases and their hallways are very narrow, they're poorly lit, and they're creaky. This house does not have that. It's very wide, really welcoming. And then this house has 5 bedrooms?
5 bedrooms.
And 3 full baths. Mm-hmm. So upstairs, you kind of have this nice landing area where you can really access all the bedrooms. But we'll show you the primary bedroom, which is the biggest, and it's really one of the coolest ones in my opinion. You can walk in here and it's big enough for a full seating area that butts up right to these big, beautiful windows, big picture window right in the middle. So you can see out to your neighbors, you can see the whole neighborhood. Room enough for, I mean, this is probably a queen size bed, but you could easily fit a king, maybe even cow king. Mm-hmm. And then in here we have the primary ensuite bath, which is actually pretty new, up to date. It has some newer marble, or not marble, but newer tile.
The thing that's great about the second floor is that you have a lot of room in your hallway. It does feel like a grand entrance right here. You can have a display as you come up the stairs, something to kind of welcome you upstairs. But that you have so many rooms that you can either have a bedroom, an office, with windows enough that you're looking out onto such a beautiful street that is residential, but that a lot of the homes around here are the same as almost this home. They're very historic, they're very old, and they're very well kept. With nature, just landscape all the way around. And it just feels like you step back in time without losing any of the modern amenities that we're so used to today.
Yeah, and one of the things I think, especially in this home, is that the bedrooms are so large. So the home is just about 3,100 square feet in total. And all the bedrooms upstairs are really, really spacious. They all have room around the beds. You're not awkwardly bumping into furniture, especially the larger furniture that you have in an old Victorian home. You have plenty of room. So it's actually very roomy and pretty comfortable.
Which is what they have here. They have a lot of larger furniture in all of the bedrooms, and you still have room to get around and add extra beautiful seating and decor next to the window as like a reading nook. You can do a lot of things in all of these rooms.
So another cool thing that we're going to take you to, we're coming right up on it, is actually the way that the servants back in the day used to attend to either the guests or the family that used to live here. They would come up a secondary staircase out the back, and we think the study that you're about to see may have been the servants' quarters, just because the way that it's kind of doored off a little bit, and it would have been separate from the family that lived here, but accessible. So come with us and check that side out. So coming down this way is the back side of the house, coming down the servant stairs as it would have been. And these would have been a separate entrance down to the kitchen and then back up to the family living area, the primary bedroom, and having separate access. And this will bring you right back down to the kitchen like we saw earlier. All right, so one of the main things about this house that actually puts it on the historical registry is the history of the home. So the original nature of this house was the very first mortician in all of Grants Pass founded this house. He built it, and he built it as such, and he wanted to make sure that people going into the afterlife were treated respectively. And so downstairs in the basement is kind of the nature of that, and where they would receive, you know, people that are being prepared for either cremation or to be, you know, in a funeral. So let's go down, check it out. This is where you see the nuts and bolts of the basement. It's actually pretty cool. There's all original, very old brick. Some of it's encapsulated in kind of the cement that's kind of making sure that it all stays together. That's one of the things that happens in older homes is when you have original brick, sometimes you'll see it in like old fireplaces, is the grout that they used to use had a lot of sand in it. So it actually will deteriorate more and more over time. So by encapsulating it in a modern cement actually fortifies it and keeps it pretty sturdy. So there's two different sections here, and this whole area could really either be turned into like an apartment, a game room, whatever you want. Laundry's in there. And then you just have a ton of storage in through here. And so going back to the history of the house, we think this is where they would probably prepare a lot of, you know, the bodies and stuff and get them ready for viewing for funerals. And, you know, it feels good down here. For a basement, normally it's damp and gross and creepy. It doesn't feel that way at all. What do you think, May?
For a basement in Oregon, like all of Oregon, this is first of all rare, and second of all, I think it's cool enough that it is something that you can turn into anything that you would want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. It's hard to see, but it's I don't know how to describe it.
It's just such a large space. There's plenty of room for storage.
Such a large space. And
yeah.
Like I said, basements are so scarce that when you do see one, you can imagine the possibilities of everything you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, there's furniture in here before, some like little loungers and whatnot. So, you know, they probably spent a good amount of time down here. You have access through a back door that goes out to the parking lot. There's covered parking outside, and then it also goes out to the backyard.
Because you're down in the basement, and it does, sometimes you feel like, oh, it's a little dark. And then you open up to like the secret garden. I love it out here because it feels closed off.
Private.
And super private.
It feels private, but you know, it's also still very welcoming. Again, yeah, you're right. It feels like a secret garden. It's like your little oasis, you know? Super cute. And your close proximity to everything. We're on 4th Street, which, I mean, the main thoroughfares for Grants Pass is 6th and 7th Street, so you can literally walk everywhere. You can get to G Street, which has a ton of restaurants, a lot of really cool shopping, a lot of like really fun things to do with a close proximity. And you have like this cool old house.
Yeah. You have this cool old house, you have your boutiques, you have everything that's cute and chic about a small town.
So May and I both live in Grants Pass, and those are some of the things that we just really love about Grants Pass is just the stores and boutiques, so the individual kind of places to go. There's just a totally different vibe. There's a different kind of like culture here. I feel like it's a little bit younger, but still like very inviting to all ages. Everything is super dog friendly, kid friendly. Grants Pass is just, it's pretty awesome. I love to live here.
Yeah, there's a nightlife here, you know, and the restaurants are different enough to where it's fun to try each and every one.
Yeah.
Mimosas is great.
Yeah, totally. So if you're looking to tour any other houses in Grants Pass, or, you know, get to feel what the whole valley has to offer, just definitely reach out to us at the Rockwell Group, and we would love to help you out and see anything we have to offer.